Srila Prabhupada ki, Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Today we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, the spiritual masters, text number 49. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. How many devotees know this verse by heart? Very good. बोलिए, आंख बंद करके बोलने का. कौन बोलेगा आंख बंद करके? हाँ, बोलो. Want to say? Say. आंख बंद करके. Who else? Mataji's? Tesham, unto them, satata yuktanam, always engaged, bhajatam, in rendering devotional service, priti purvakam, in loving ecstasy, dadami, I give, buddhi yogam, real intelligence, tam, that, ena, by which, mam, unto me, upayanti, come, te, they. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Purport. This verse of the Bhagavad Gita clearly states how Govinda Dev instructs his bona fide devotee. The Lord declares that by enlightenment in theistic knowledge, he awards attachment for him to those who constantly engage in his transcendental loving service. This awakening of divine consciousness enthralls a devotee who thus relishes his eternal transcendental mellow. Such an awakening is awarded only to those convinced by devotional service about the transcendental nature of the personality of Godhead. They know that the supreme truth, the all spiritual and all powerful person, is one without a second and has fully transcendental senses. He is the fountainhead of all emanations. Such pure devotees, always merged in knowledge of Krishna and absorbed in Krishna consciousness, exchange thoughts and realizations as great scientists exchange their views and discuss the results of their research in scientific academies. Such exchanges of thoughts in regard to Krishna give pleasure to the Lord, who therefore favors such devotees with all enlightenment. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namaha Pankajanabhaya Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye. So, this is a verse from Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter. There are 10, 8, 10.8, 9, 10 and 11. According to Sri Ramanuja, it is called Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. Right? So, Chatushloki Bhagavatam, they are there, 4 verses spoken by Lord Narayana. They come the next few weeks. We are going to discuss Chatushloki Bhagavatam. So today Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. So some acharyas, they say, Gopi Bhav is there, Krishna Prema is there in these 4 verses, like that. So the main important point in this verse is Priti Purvakam. Tesham Satatayuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. I ask you one question. Previously also I asked this question. How many of you started developing love for Krishna? Raise your hands. Sankoch mat karo. How many of you? Right? Very good. I will ask again. I will give you some information. Then again ask. How many of you, when you come to the Radharasvi Hari temple, feel that Radha Raspberry is the most beautiful personality. Oh, Radha Raspberry is so beautiful. Radha Raspberry is so beautiful. How many of you think like that? Right? So Srila Prabhupada says that anybody who says that Krishna is beautiful, most beautiful personality, he is already developing love for Krishna. So now, how many of you uh, started developing love for Krishna? Huh? You don't think like that? Krishna is beautiful? Yeah, very bad. How many of you, I'll ask you one more question based on Bhakti Rasam Sindhu. How many of you have are performing Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti? You know, there is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and then there is Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Right? So how many of you have passed Bhakti Shastri? Are doing Bhakti Shastri? Okay, answer. How many of you are performing Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti? Right? Don't feel shy, raise your huh? Raga, right? You're not? You must raise your hand. Raise. I will tell you what is raga. So there is a sadhana bhakti, Vedic sadhana bhakti, and then raganuga sadhana bhakti. Right? I will ask you question. How many of you, like our Devakinandan Prabhu, he almost is 45 years, Prabhu, here in temple, here in the movement. 45 years in the movement. Huh? Yeah. So if you look at him, he will never miss Mangalarti. He will never miss Guru Puja. He will never miss Bhagavatam class. And then he will never miss. I never come for Sandhya Arti, but I think he comes and then he gives a lot of insistence on sadhana. So that is an inspiration for all of us. But actually, if you see, how many of you come? Like Devakinanda Prabhu has this habit of going to ashram and waking up people, come for Mangalarti, come for, you do now. He used to beat also sometimes. Previously. Right? Or put water. Pani. How many of you come without temple commander asking you to come for Mangalarti? Without Allah. How many of you come without temple commander forcing you? Right? How many of you enjoy seeing Radha Raspberry during Mangalarti? Right? How many of you, without being forced, you come for Bhagavatam class? Right? How many of you, think that, अरे टुडे रामरूप का लेक्चर है, बदमाश है, उसका क्लास में नहीं जाएगा? राइट? ऐसा कौन सा, कितने लोग ऐसा सोचते हैं? राइट? How many of you? So how many, I have this, I have this tendency that depending on the speaker, I choose, I don't give gali, but okay, bakwas bahut karta hai class mein. Sometimes I get those feelings, sometimes some devotees, they sing very badly, but out of tune and all, so I don't feel like staying in the kirtan and all. But actually, when we are in Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, Prabhupada says, in the beginning, the spiritual master forces his disciples to go for Mangalarti, to chant their rounds, to attend Bhagavatam class, to, dance in the kirtan. Because of the order of the spiritual master, yeah, we come for all the programs. But later on, Prabhupada says you must develop attraction. Without being forced, you must come for Mangala Arati, you must come for Guru Puja, you must come for Bhagavatam class, you must come for all the kirtans and all that. Right? So when we reach that stage, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, uh, when a Bhagavatam class is going on, when Bhagavatam class is going on, without seeing who is giving class, if you hear the class, right, then you are developing attraction for hearing. But if I have this discrimination, so and so is giving class, I will not sit, I will not listen. So and so doesn't give proper class. So and so is not singing properly. If I think like that, Vishwanath Thakur says that is the presence of anarthas in my heart. Right? Presence of anarthas in my heart. So once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was sitting along with his devotees, one devotee has appeared there when Sarvabhattacharya and all they were there. So his name was Govinda. So he introduced himself saying that I am Govinda, I am a disciple of Sri Ishwarpuri. And then when Ishwarpuri, my spiritual master, left before leaving his body, he ordered both of us, Kashishwara and myself, to go and serve you. Kashishwara went for Tirtha Yatras and then he will come later. But because in order to follow the orders of my spiritual master, I quickly came. Then he offered a visit, please accept my services. Please accept my services. Then Chaitanya, then Sarvabhattacharya, he asked, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how can your spiritual master accept a Sudra as his servant? Right? Because, Prabhupada says in the purport that a spiritual master should not, should belong to a Brahman category. So if a Brahmana spiritual master is available, if one is advised not to take initiation from, other category, Vaishya, Sudra, Kshatriya categories. Like that. That is, not only that, if your spiritual master is black in color, according to Hari Bhakti Vilas, if his complexion is black, he is not eligible for taking initiation from him. And also, if his teeth are not proper, if teeth are black, then if you want to take initiation, please open your mouth, Maharaj. Oh, teeth are black, so I can't take it. That is, all these instructions are there in Hari Bhakti Vilas. But there is a rider to that. Prabhupada explained this in Chaitanya Charitamrita. If somebody wants to remain in a bodily concept of life, they should follow all these things. So it is like that. Anyway, I'm just. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied that my spiritual master and Lord Sri Krishna, they are completely independent personalities. They are not dependent on some rules and regulations of some scriptures. Hear this very carefully. Lord Krishna's dealings are dependent on affection only. Out of affection only, Krishna accepted food in Vidura's house, even though he is a Sudra, he is a Dasiputra. Like that. Prabhupada, this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhyalila. You can refer, Mahaprabhu returns to Jagannath Puri. That chapter is there. So Mahaprabhu, so Prabhupada wrote a beautiful purport that affection for Krishna is very, very important. Those who render service out of affection for Krishna, that is very important. So those who somebody is rendering service to Krishna out of affection, that means they have received mercy from Krishna. If somebody is serving Krishna out of out of veneration, it means that it is doubtful whether he received the mercy of Krishna or not. Right? So that's why I brought up this topic, that it is very, very important to develop this affection for Krishna. Right? Very, very important. Not that just like a parrot, you repeat the words and all that. Right? Is it clear? So uh, so because of Prabhu, then Mahaprabhu continues to say that because Krishna, my spiritual master, is as independent as Krishna. As independent as Krishna. Somebody asked Prabhupada, why Krishna has to take incarnation? Prabhupada said, if Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead and he is all powerful, why can't he take incarnation? Do you think he must follow your logic and subscribe to your understanding and tattva? Krishna is completely independent. Like that, Krishna is completely independent, to accept, to give bestow mercy to anybody. In the same way, the spiritual master is as independent as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like that. So in this way, we should learn from this, this purport. You can go and read that, we should actually serve Krishna out of affection, out of love. Right? So how do we develop that love? Right? How do we develop that love? There are, various chapters of Bhagavad Gita. First 6 chapters, 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita is like, very important chapter, like Kashi Ganga. They say Kashi Ganga is very important. Right? The 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita, we should understand very carefully. And then, because if you want to perform any yogas, you must follow the principles given in the 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita. So we must memorize that chapter and then follow the principles given by Krishna. 7th, they are, Karma Shadga, they say. So all these names of the Bhagavad Gita chapters are not given by Krishna. Right? Krishna just spoke. He did not say, iti, adhyayam, karma yoga, samaptam. Like that, he didn't say all these things. He just spoke for 40 minutes continuously. Vyasadeva has actually divided, chapters like that. So later on, so many acharyas, they gave different names. Like, Prabhupada gave 2nd chapter Bhagavad Gita as contents of Gita summarized. But otherwise, in other acharyas, they give the name as Sankhya Yoga. 2nd chapter is known as Sankhya Yoga. Like that. So 7th and 8th chapters, like 7th chapter is Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Right? Jnana Mishra Bhakti. And then 8th chapter is little bit of Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Prayana Kale Manasa Chalena Bhaktya Yukta Yoga Balena Chaiva. All that comes, Yad Aksharam Veda Vido Vadanti Vishanti Yad Yateo Vitaraga. Yad Icchanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Parivakshe. Like that, that is Yoga Mishra Bhakti Krishna explained in 8th chapter. Right? But 9th chapter, Krishna explained, termed it as the most confidential knowledge. Idam tute guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase ashubhat rajavidya rajaguhyam pavitram idamuttamam pratyaksha vagamam dharmyam susukam kartumavye. Why it is called Rajaguhyam? Rajaguhyam, Prabhupada explains, because in this chapter, 9th chapter, uh, yeah, uh, Guhyam, Guhyam means, another meaning is cave, Gufa, right? Our heart sometimes is also known as Gufa. So in this Gufa, there is a personality of Godhead residing secretly, right? Secretly. Everybody doesn't understand. The knowledge about this personality of Godhead, one who is staying secretly in our Gufa, that is Rajaguhyam. Clear? Huh? Clear? That is called Rajaguhyam. Like that. Uh, we must understand many times, like, actually, Swarga Apavarga Dvaraya, Nityam Suchisade Namaha, Namo Hiranya Viryaya, Chatruhotraya Tantave. So this is a verse by Lord Shiva in Rudra Gita. Right? Krishna stays in the hearts of those people whose hearts are very pure. Right? In Vishnu Purana, regarding the uh, Prahlad Maharaj's pastimes, in Vishnu Purana, Bhagavatam, very nice. Some pastimes are described, but in Vishnu Purana, there is an elaborate description of Prahlad Maharaj's pastimes. Very wonderful description is there. So if you hear them, you will feel ecstasy. So lot of details, secrets. There is only one verse about Lord Nishangadev in Vishnu Purana. Only one verse. If you there is this verse about describing Narshingadev. He says that it says that Nara Simha. Though if you remember Lord Nishangadev, he will destroy your Narabhava, bodily concept of life. That is the only one verse described about Lord. Anyway, so in that Vishnu Purana, it is mentioned that Lord Krishna wants to reside in the hearts of pure devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, very happily and comfortably. And in other people's hearts, Krishna stays in those hearts just like somebody stays on the bed of thorns. Bed of thorns. That is why we should make sure that our heart is free from what are those thorns? Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad. So if you make sure that Krishna should stay comfortably and happily, then we should make sure that those thorns are removed from our heart. Right? So when in Simachalam, if you go there, from there only through the Prahlad Maharaj from that hill. From that hill. And then Prahlad Maharaj, while falling, he was catching hold of his heart. And then fell very carefully. Then he said, the Sainiks asked, why are you catching? So Prahlad Maharaj said, oh, Lord is staying in my heart. I feel that he would get hurt. He would get injured. That's why I'm protecting him. Like that. That was his bhava. Like, anyway, Rajaguhyam, Prabhupada explains what is Rajaguhyam. Rajaguhyam means the description in this chapter. Krishna explained Navavidha Bhakti, starting with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Iti Pumsha Arpita Vishnu, Bhaktische Navalakshana, Kriyeta Bhagavati Adha, Tanmanye, Ditamuttamam. Prabhupada says, this is it. Navavidha Bhakti is the most confidential knowledge of entire Vedic knowledge, is this Navavidha Bhakti. So because this 9th chapter describes Navavidha Bhakti, that's why this is known as Rajaguhyam. Why it is called Rajavidya? Because Rajavidya, because there are 6 kinds of philosophies. It's called Shad Darshana. in this chapter, the essence of all the six Shad Darshana is given in this chapter. That is why this is known as Rajavidya. Right? So, 9th and 10th chapters, they give Krishna Prema. If you read these two chapters, according to Vishwanath Thakur, they give Krishna Prema. Because, especially in 10th chapter, 9th chapter also, 10th chapter also, Krishna explained Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti. All his glories. Like Krishna says, that Maharshinam cha Bhruguraham. Giram aham ekam aksharam. Yajnanam japa yajñosmi. Stavaranam Himalayaha. Right? What is the meaning of why Krishna says that Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi? Follow Govind Kumar? Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi. Prabhu Krishna says, for performing all other yajnas, you need ingredients. You need efficient brahmana to chant mantras. You need to give dakshina. You have to spend money. Right? Dakshina nahi diya to? Right? Our devotees भी, Panchatattva dega, Sahasranaman dega. They discuss, kitna dega, Panchatattva milega. Panchatattva is 500. Right? Sahasranam means 1,000 rupees. Right? If you go to, sorry to say, if you go to Bengali devotees, they will give 11 rupees. So if you go to Bengal, don't expect. Right? So for, but it has to be given like that, Vidhihinam asrustanam, mantrahinam adakshinam, shraddha virhetam yajñam, tamasa parichakshate, Krishna says, So, anyway, so unless, so for doing any yajna, you need money, you need ingredients and all. But for doing japa yajna, you don't need anything. You just need your tongue and ears and willingness, your willingness. Right? Your willingness. That's it. Like that, Krishna explained to us how to seek. Hello? Arjuna said, when Acharya explains, I cannot see you. Okay. In whatever you are seeing, you recognize me. First, that is our first stage. Whatever we are seeing, we should, if you see Himalayas, oh, that is Krishna. Right? If you see a big cheater, that is Krishna. Right? If you see a big leader, that is Krishna. Right? Once Prabhupada was very sick, Munshi, Priyaranjan Das Munshi or somebody, he was the governor of Uttar Pradesh at the time, or Chennai. So he came to meet Prabhupada in Prabhupada quarters. That time Prabhupada was very sick and he was, his throat was, completely choked with sputum and all. And then Priyadar, that Munshi governor, he said, Swamiji, eat some rasagullas. Right? Eat some rasagullas. Then Abhiram Prabhu was his servant. Prabhupada told him, Abhiram, bring some rasagullas. Abhiram said, Prabhupada, I'm not going to bring any rasgulla for you. He said, no. See, that governor, unless there is a mercy of Krishna, he could not have become governor of, a place. So we should follow their instructions. Because he has got the mercy. Somebody is in the post, somebody is, that means he got the mercy of Krishna. So we should respect him. Oh, that is Krishna. Somebody like that. So that's how, we see Krishna everywhere. And then we know the glories of Krishna by reading 9th and 10th chapter Bhagavad Gitas. Very carefully. Then, like these movie actors and these cricketers, and all, they have a huge following. And the people pour love on them. Right? They say Sachin Tendulkar is God, this and that. And then they say, "Arey, so much love I am getting." But it's all useless love. Right? Some people, they walk from Punjab to meet these actors. Kya fayda hota hai, right? Just because they are acting well doesn't mean that they become worshipable, right? So ordinary people, they get so much love when they exhibit some very great qualities. When we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is the source of everything. That is why Prabhupada said, everybody says God is great, but you don't know they don't know how great God is. Right? How great God is. So that if you understand how great God is, naturally you will develop love for Krishna. That is the first verse of Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Right? So if you keep on hearing the glories of Krishna from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahabharata, Ramayana, naturally you will develop bhava. The preliminary bhava is preliminary stage of love. Bhava. So prabhavaha comes from the word Prabhu. So prabhavaha means he is the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha matta sarvam pravartate. I am the source of both spiritual and material worlds. Right? Those who know this, right? Those who know this, they will worship me with love. So in 10th chapter, second verse and the third verse, if you understand, right? Name viduhu suragana prabhavam na maharshyah aham adirihi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashaha yomam ajam anadim cha vettiloka maheshwaram asamudo samartyeshu sarvapape pramuchyate. Prabhupada writes that anybody who understands that Krishna is existing before creation, Krishna is existing and controlling, maintaining the creation, and then Krishna is going to exist after the annihilation, all his sins will be nullified. Very simple, right? What are the three things? Krishna is existing before creation. Krishna is existing and maintaining the creation. And then Krishna will going to exist after the annihilation. Such a person, if somebody understands without any doubt these three things, all his sins will become nullified. That is Vibhuti Yoga, right? Krishna's glories, like that, right? Buddhirjnanam asammohaha kshama satyam damasamaha. Sukham dukkham bhavo bhavo bhayam cha abhayam eva cha. Ahimsa samata tushtis. Yashodanam, tapodanam yasho yasha. And then bhavanti bhavabhutanam mattayeva prutagvida. And maharshinam cha saptapurve chatvaro manavasthata madbhava manasa jata esham laukam imam prajaha etan vibhutim yogam cha mamayo veti tattvataha sa avikalpena yogena yujyatena atra samshayaha. Right? So you read Buddhirjnanam asammoha, all these qualities, intelligence, knowledge, and free from anxiety, tolerance, all these qualities, truthfulness, kshama, satyam, then bhayam, abhayam, fearfulness, fearlessness, fearlessness, all these qualities Krishna is saying, they are coming from me. So Sri Ramanuja says, why Krishna is saying? Because I am having them, ask me, I will give you. Because Krishna is the source of all these things. Krishna is the source of Saptarshis. And then Krishna is the, creator of Manus. So those who know this etan vibhutim yogam cha, those who know my glories. So another meaning, another title for this chapter, Avikalpa Yoga. Sa avikalpa yogena. So avikalpa, without any deviation, they will become absorbed and then perform devotional service. Then Krishna is describing aham sarvasya prabhaha matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanmita. Like that. Then machitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanchita ramanticha. Which Acharya's comment that machitta means attached. Mind is attached to one who is mind is attached to my nama rupa gunalila. That is machitta. Madgata prana means their lives are dedicated to me, just like Vishnu Thakur says that those who, just like a person who cannot survive without eating food, my devotees, they cannot survive without me. Machitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanticha ramanticha. So in this verse, 3 out of Navavidha Bhakti, 3 are described. One is Shravanam, another is Kirtanam, another is Smaranam. So Prabhupada explains in 7th canto, 5th chapter, 25th, this Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, that one must serve Krishna with Manasa, Vacha, Karmana. Right? BMW. Always remember. BMW. Body, mind, inwards. All of us, we drive BMW. Right? All of us, we drive. Right? Prabhupada says, with this Manasa, Vacha, Karmana, we commit sinful activities. That is why 3 Yamadutas, they come. Right? 3 Yamadutas come. Right? Why? So, we chant Narayana at the time of, Ajamila chanted Narayana. So, 4 Vishnudutas deke. You chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare. 32 will come. Right? The whole place will be effulgent, light, When Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this is a real incident. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's eldest son was leaving the body. Everybody was there, and then there was the whole room was lighted up, it seems, with kanti, just like as if some Surya has entered the room. So much kanti. Then there is a sound of Vishnu Dutas speaking and all that. They were admiring, so, like that. So, Prabhupada says that because we commit sinful activities with 3 things, we must perform devotional service with these 3. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. So, Shravanam is with the ears. Kirtanam with the tongue. Smaranam with the mind. Right? First, external, outside, and then go a little bit inside, tongue, and then go deeper. Right? That is why Antarmukha, like that it is said, Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. Antarmukha, very easy, so that is why we should become Antarmukha. We should go deep inside our heart. Like that. So, these, my devotees, after becoming inspired by my vibhutis and all, they become, Aikantika Bhaktas, Aikantika Bhaktas. So such Aikantika Bhaktas, like I always say, 3 A's are required, right? 3 A's. What are, anybody remembers? 3 A's. In Krishna Prema, if you want Krishna Prema, we need 3 A's. One is Ananya Bhakti. Second is Ananya Chintana. Third one is Avyabhichari Bhakti. Right? Avyabhichari Bhakti. So it is very, we must hear about Krishna with love. So, my devotees, Machitta Madgata Prana, Bodhayanta Paraspara, Katayantascha Mam Nityam, Tushyanchita Ramanticha. Tushyanti and Ramanti, there are 2 meanings. Tushyanti means in sadhana stage, they experience great happiness and they remain very blissful. And then Ramanti means in sadhana bhakti, sadhya bhakti, they remember Ramanti means according to Srila Swami, they hear about confidential pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and they enjoy, they experience bliss. So Tushyanti means another Acharya explains that Tushyanti means devotees are satisfied materially. Ramanti means their needs increase more and more. More and more. So, to such devotees who are performing Ananya Bhakti, like Mada, my favorite, recently Prabhupada gave, we heard this lecture, Madashraya Kathamrishta, Shrunvanti Katayanti Cha, Tapanti Vividastapa, Naitan Madgata Chetasa. Prabhupada wrote beautiful, small but very beautiful purport. Prabhupada says, the karmis, because they are not thinking about Krishna, they are always, thinking about their material problems. That's why they are always in anxiety. Because devotees, minds are always absorbed in Krishna Katha. They become unaware of the troubles in their life. Somebody, अरे क्या प्रॉब्लम हो गया, अरे ऐसा है क्या, क्योंकि उनको पता ही नहीं चलता है बोलते. Devotee, they become unaware of material problems because they are absorbed in Krishna Katha. Shrunvanti Katayanti Cha. Right? Yatradiyante Kathamrishta Trishnaya Prasamaya Yatha Nirvairaha Yatra Bhutani Nirudvego Yatra Kaschana. This is a verse from 4th canto, Pracheta's prayers. So they are saying, we get experience of, my dear Lord, those who hear your Krishna Katha is so sweet. Your Katha is so sweet. The Trishna means, intense hankering for something. Kama is there, but Trishna means intense hankering. That I should get it by hook or crook. Like that. That is Krishna. So, when we hear, my dear Lord, those devotees who hear your Krishna Katha, at least during that time, now all of you are hearing, we are not experiencing any Trishna, right? We are not experiencing any anxiety. Prasamaya, Yatha, Trishnaya. Right? Then, are any one of us fighting amongst ourselves? After the class, in the Prasadam hall, we may fight. But right now we are not fighting. Right? Nirvaira Yatra Bhutani. As long as your Katha is going on, all the animosity will go away among the living entities. Right? And the Nirudvego means all the anxieties also will go away. Right? So, what is the remedy for avoiding fighting? Right? Maunena kalau nasti. Jagrito nasti bhayam. Nasti jagrito bhayam. Krishito nasti durbhiksham. Japato nasti patakam. Please remember this verse. This is from Harivamsha Purana. What is that? Maunena kalo nasti. How to avoid fight? Remain quiet. Remaining quieting means hearing Krishna Katha, right? So Narada Muni says in Padma Purana, he was advising Grahastha Ashrama principles to Chavan Muni when he got married to Sukanya in old age. Right? So Narada Muni was advising, whenever there is a possibility of fight between husband and wife, one of the persons should say, Haribol, jor se. The fight will stop. Haribol. So if you are not hearing other person what he is saying, where is the fight, right? Right, like that. Haribol, right? Grahastha, advice for Grahasthas, internet listeners. Here all brahmacharis. Right? Then jagrito nasti jagrito bhayam. If you are awakened in self-realized knowledge, fear will be destroyed. Krishito nasti durbhiksham. Those who are hardworking, they will never go hungry. And then japato nasti patakam. Those who chant Hare Krishna, all their sins become destroyed. Right? Those sins become destroyed. Anyway, So, Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Katyantasya Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. To those people who are engaged in Ananya Bhakti, Aikantika Bhakti, for them, so Arjuna asked, it seems, that my dear Lord, how do they get knowledge and how do they your tattva about you and all that? Where they will go? Krishna says, no, they don't have to go anywhere. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. I give them intelligence. I give them intelligence. I give them intelligence. Out of my cause. Prabhupada writes in the purport that one who makes his goal of life to get Krishna, even though he is attached to some movement, some samstha, even though he is initiated or something, if he is not making use of those samstha and initiation, association of devotees and all that, but if he is a sincere person, I give them intelligence, I give them knowledge, so that I teach them the process, so that they can come back to me. There is only one thing, Prabhupada writes in first canto Bhagavatam, that there is only one thing, Prabhupada used this word, material tabernacle. Right? All these Englishmen, Americans and all, they used to become fabric-lasted. Like I said, once Govindas Mataji, she tried to correct Prabhupada one English word. Prabhupada said, no, it is like that only. Go and check. And then later on, she went and checked. Yes, Prabhupada. Prabhupada's English is amazing English, British English. Like after reading this Krishna book, 87th chapter, Personified Vedas, English. There is one Sri Vaishnava, Sevadula's guru, some Namacharya something. So he commented, whoever, this personality who translated this chapter, he has got amazing knowledge of both Sanskrit and English. If you read the chapter, amazing, Actually, I came from a very humble background where I studied in Telugu medium. Yes, no, all right, yes, no, all right. Yes, no, all right. That was like that, Whatever English I learned after reading Prabhupada books. Telugu, my father, I saw, when did you learn such nice English? My father, when they hear my lectures, they comment, all Prabhupada's mercy, anyway, amazing. Anyway, so material tabernacle, Prabhupada. So everybody is, got stuck in this material tabernacle, right? There is only one way to get out of this material tabernacle. Very simple. That is what? Simply by desiring to get out. What? Simply by desiring to get out, you can just have the desire. Just have the desire. Like Maharaj Nuga, he performed so much, punya karma, this and that. One pap karma happened unknowingly. Then all of you know the story. He became a lizard, like that. But one thing has saved him, because one Vaishnava, like our Vaishnavas, he went and met him. He is a karmakandi, karmakandi. But when he went and met him, that I want to build a Krishna temple, and then distribute Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, please sponsor something. So he sponsored. Then that Vaishnava blessed him that you will get a desire to see Krishna. Otherwise, nobody wants to see Krishna, right? Everybody is busy. So then, because of that one desire, maybe delayed, but he got darshan of Krishna. Right? Just Prabhupada says, just have the desire, have the desire that, Vishnacharya Thakur comments in this 87th chapter, personified Vedas. He says, that there are three things: Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasana. So Shravanam is hearing the holy name, right? Mananam means saying the meaning of holy name, thinking about the meaning of the holy name. What is the meaning of the holy name? Oh, my dear Radha and Krishna, please engage me in your service. What is Nididhyasana? He very nicely comments that every time we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we should chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra with an intense desire to have darshan of Radha and Krishna. What is that? We should have a intense desire. So if we have a desire, Krishna will arrange everything. Krishna will arrange everything. He will arrange, chapter. He will arrange the holy name. He will arrange the spiritual master. He will arrange the association of devotees. He will arrange the jivika. Everything he will arrange. One thing that is required. What is that? Huh? My dear Krishna, I want to see you one day. Right? I want to see you one day. Just develop this desire. Like that. So, in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it is mentioned that when Gopakumar entered Golok Vrindavan, and his name was different, something else. Said, Krishna addressed him with that name. Said, oh, he embraced him. And then, he started crying. Then all the other Gopas and Gopis, they were very bewildered why Krishna was crying, and he became unconscious. Then he fell on the road, he fell on the road, and then all the mitti lag gaya tha Krishna ko. Said, kya? Then everybody was looking at Mother Yashoda and all, looking at Gopakumar as if he is a culprit. Then Gopakumar is saying, I entered Goloka, and then all these inauspicious things are happening. Maine kya kiya? And then Krishna came back to consciousness, then he is embracing. Loving search for the last friend. Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj wrote one book. Loving search for the last friend. So Krishna told him that, my dear, I forgot the name, Gopakumar, that do you know since how long I have been after you? Right? You won't listen to me. Now, I was chasing you since so many lifetimes, but because I wanted to bring you back, but you are not listening to me. Then I forcibly gave birth to you in Govardhan. Till you are not worshipping me. Then I became a spiritual master, and I gave you Gopal Mantra. Finally, you have come back to me. Welcome back. Right? That is Krishna's love for all of us, So it is said that even though so many living entities, 3/4 of living entities are in the spiritual world, but still Krishna hankers for every one of us. For every one of us. Prabhupada writes, there is one beautiful verse, Stenaha Surapa Mitradruk. Anybody knows this? Stenaha Surapa Mitradruk. Brahmaha Gurutalpaga. Stri Raja Pitru Gohanta Patikanam Api Chapare Sarvesham Yad Agavatam Idam Hiva Sunishkritam. Nama Vyavaharanam Vishnu Yat Syad Vishayamatihi. This very, I don't explain, I will not, but the last sentence is Yat Syad Vishayamati. Prabhupada explains that anybody who starts chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he comes under the attention of Krishna. And then Krishna decides, it seems, that, this person is chanting Hare Krishna. I have to give protection to this person. Like that. Prabhupada, Radha Govind Maharaj says, even though we are not attentive to Krishna while we are chanting, but when we are chanting his name, Krishna becomes attentive. Even though we don't listen attentively, Krishna listens attentively our holy name. Can you imagine? Very interesting. Like that. So it is very, very important, to develop that desire to see Krishna. Then Krishna will So we, this Priti Purvakam, Prabhupada says, by hearing constantly Krishna's pastimes, by hearing Krishna's pastimes, we can develop, that love for Krishna. Simple, as simple as that. Especially Krishna's Balya Lila. One day, Prabhupada they were reading Krishna book, and then they were describing Krishna's Balya Lila, and then Prabhupada is laughing and laughing, and then there is so much ecstasy in his face. Then Prabhupada commented, "I think a whole day we should simply read Krishna Lila." Like that. So later on, after the ecstasy is over, Prabhupada said, no, we had to distribute books also. Right? If somebody can, hear Krishna Lila, like the Kurvata Alvar, there is one great devotee in, Krishna Lila is very wonderful. So when one Shivaishnava Acharya, Namalvar, he describes that, Namalvar, he's like a original Acharya of Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya, he appeared in the Dwapara Yuga only, end of Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga enter. Very great, personality. He explains that when Krishna jumped into the Kalindi, that water went and touched Milk Ocean. You know why? Hare, dekho kitna I am so fortunate that Krishna is jumped in my water, and then sometimes he plays in my waters also. Did any time Narayana jump into your samudra? Huh? He's always serious, always lying down on Ananta Sesh. Huh? Like that. So when Uddhava visited Vrindavan, they are actually, the gopis and all, they are very, very happy, and they were actually churning. And this, when you churn the dahi, it makes sound. It makes sound. That sound is going and reaching Vaikuntha. So Narayana means, when Gopakumar once he went to Narayana, he saw, because he was chanting Gopal Mantra, there is a resemblance of Krishna in him, even though he is 400 form. When he saw, hey, Gopal, mera Gopal hai, char bhuja hai. Then he started running, Gopal, Gopal, Gopal. And then all the Vishnu Dutas, they were horrified, because he's going to, like in South Indian, North Indian tradition, Punjabis and all, they embrace, they hug each other and they kiss and all that, right? But in South India, it is very, we are not so warm, we don't hug anybody, or that tendency, right? The tendency is not there. So Narayana, Vaikuntha, all South India. Once Prabhupada was there in Vrindavan, Prabhupada told Harishwari, go and bring some sambar from Ranganath temple. Tell that Pujari, Bhaktivinoda Swami asked. So he brought some sambar. Prabhupada drank sambar. This is favorite of Narayana. In Vaikuntha, sambar is served. So sambar milta hai. So they are horrified. Hey, what are you doing, Gopkumar? What are you doing? You can't go call Gopal like that. Yeah? You can't, hug Narayana like this. Go, chal. Like that. Like that. So when Narayana heard the sound, of, this, manthan, dahi manthan, said, kya sound aa raha hai? Then they looked, it's not from Vaikuntha. It's not Vaikuntha. It's not from Vaikuntha. Said, kya ho raha hai? नीचे कृष्ण के लिए they are churning the butter, dahi, and then at that time all the drops of that dahi and milk and all went and fell on the body of Narayana. So Krishna Lila, Yanmatti Lilopayagam Swayoga, Darshita, Mayavalam Darshita, Darshita, this thing, and then Vismapanam Yasyacha Sauvagadre, Parampadam, Parampadam, Bhushana Bhushanangam. This is a beautiful verse from third canto Bhagavatam. Narayana and other avatar also, they get bewildered and they get enchanted by Krishna's pastimes. Right? Krishna's pastimes. It's so wonderful, like that. So then, once, you know, Nandarani, she was, she was just, churning the butter, the heat, because, all of why she is doing it. And, so Krishna, they would, early in the morning, they would put a lamp, small lamp, they would put a small lamp. She would put a small lamp, and then while singing the glories of Krishna, she was churning the butter, right? So Krishna woke up. Then he saw, Krishna is only interested in Navanita, freshly churned butter. He's become so expert that, one day old butter and all, he won't eat. I will explain why Navanita some other time. There's no time. So why Krishna is, like Navanita. So then, so Krishna very, very secretly he went, and he put up that lamp. Right? He put up the lamp. And then Mother Yashoda, Hare, oil khatam ho gaya lagta hai. So she went to fetch some oil. Meanwhile, Krishna very slowly went, silently went, and then ate that butter. Right? Ate that butter. And then Mother Yashoda came, and then she put up the light, and they said, I was churning the butter and I put some butter in the pot. Where has it gone? Then she saw Krishna was sleeping in the bed. So, kya ho gaya? Then again she started, she started churning the butter. So when some butter has come, and then again Krishna came very silently and again put up the light. Again put up the light. And again Krishna ate that butter. And then, where is that butter? Like that. So then she saw, always she is very careful, Krishna, she would look, whether Krishna is sleeping or not. Krishna is sleeping. Kya ho raha hai? Whether I am churning the butter or not, she was confused. Then again, Krishna comes and, puts up the light. Then this time, something is happening. Like that. Instead of going and fetching the light, she just hidden herself behind a pillar. And then our Makanchor, he came and, started eating butter. Then Mother Yashoda caught him. Right? Mother Yashoda caught him. Said, Lala, kya kar raha hai? Like that, So that Leela, only gopis are complaining. I didn't believe. Now I am seeing with my own eyes that, you are, actually you are a butter thief. Like that. Like this, it happened. Then, all of Damodar Leela, Namalwar explains that, this, Krishna, there are 9 lakh cows, and then the ropes that are used, they are used for, tying the cows and calves and all. So what are these ropes? These ropes are rejected ropes. Rejected because they became very rough and all. Okay? They became very rough and all. So Krishna, Mother Yashoda, so brought all those ropes and tied Krishna, on the stomach and all. So hearing this pastime, this Namalwar became unconscious for 6 months. For 6 months. You know why? Because he was so distressed that, though Krishna's stomach is so soft like lotus petals. And then Mother Yashoda, you bound Krishna with such rough ropes, that he would have become hurt. He would have become hurt. So thinking like that. So Kuradda Alvar, he was asking Krishna, my dear Krishna, how often you come for avatar? Krishna said, every 28th Divya Yuga I come. So every time you perform this Damodar Leela and this Leela? Krishna said, yeah. He said, don't perform all these kind of Leelas. He said, why? Krishna asked, why? Because look at the distress of, it's all about you and satisfying other devotees. Look at the distress of Namalwar like devotees. He's unconscious for 6 months because he's distressed that, your stomach is hurt. So anyway, very wonderful descriptions are there. Some other time I'll tell. So anyway, all of you are enjoying, right? 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 If they put you in the middle of the fire, do you think you can smile like this? He is the one. What is your name? He is smiling most. Right? Do you think somebody puts you in the middle of a fire? You can smile like this? No. Right? Right? So simply you hear these pastimes. Sometimes you are sitting in a bus, right? You are sitting in a bus, you know, and then mm, some lady along with a small son, she is also sitting, and then you are remembering all these Krishna's pastimes, and you are smiling to yourself. And if the child is coming near to you, so कौन है ऐसे अपने आप में हंसता है रे? कौन हंसता है अपने आप में? हाँ? पागल लोग. Right? Pagal log. Right. So when a lady sitting beside you tells her son, don't go to near this sadhu, he is a madman. Because what he is doing is remembering Krishna's pastimes and smiling to himself. So when somebody says like that, life has become perfect. Somebody says this man is a madman, huh? अपने आप में हंस रहा है, that means your life that day your life has become perfect. प्रीतिपूर्वकम then तेषाम एवानुकंपार्थम अहम अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयामि आत्मभावस्तो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता. So my devotees are not bereft of any knowledge and all. I give tattva of my. So Manobhiramam, I will finish Nivritta Tarshair Upagimanat Bhavaushudhi Shrotra Manobhirama. Yadatuma Shloka Gunanavadan. Puman Virajeta Bina Pashugnan. So this Bhavaroga is birth-death legend disease. For any patient, suffering from any roga, the medicine is very bitter. But this Bhavaroga is both pleasing. This Aushadam, Bhavashadi, this Aushadam of Krishna Katha is pleasing to both ears and the mind. Right? Acharya's comment that those who simply hear Krishna's pastimes, their senses are satisfied. And those who understand tattva of Krishna's pastimes, they will experience bliss in the mind also. Manobhiramam. Right? So Krishna is saying, I will reveal my tattvajnan, and I will reveal all confidential thing to my devotees who worship me with the Ananya Bhakti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. 9:35 Prasadam. So that's why I extended my class. Anybody, any questions, comments? I think recently you spoke on this Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, right? You spoke on Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita somewhere in Jharkhand, I think.
Jodhpur. So you were saying about coming to class. Oh, I don't like this guy. He doesn't give good class and this thing, that thing. So this devotee, they decide to come to class and not to come to class. Actually, they are not even devotee if they think that way. Real thing, Krishna Bhakti depends on pleasing Guru and Krishna. Coming to class, coming to Mangala Arati, coming to Sandhya Arati, chanting your round, following relative principle, these are to please Srila Prabhupada. And if Prabhupada is pleased, then even if you don't come in class, fine. But Prabhupada wants us to come in class.
Yeah.
He wrote down, usually he didn't ask secretary to type it. He personally wrote down all the devotee connected to Krishna consciousness moment must do this thing, must do this thing, must do this thing, and sign. So you can see that how Prabhupada was very much. And actually, this is the ticket to go back home to Godhead. coming to the class. A speaker is talking, I was speaking from Bhagavatam. Many a time he talks about Krishna, he talks about Prabhupada, he talks about, devotional service. When you don't understand, only understand Krishna, that's enough. Just it goes in your ear, that's enough. That's the importance of coming class. Whether you like or not, that is material. So coming class is like purchasing ticket. You may want to go back home to Godhead. You may want to get love of God. But if you don't come in class, no matter how bigger you are, you will not come. Nimittata isai rupegi mana, in that verse, it says that even self-realized soul, they also enjoy hearing Harikatha. So it's like one funny joke, but yes, I want to say, because the class started with a joke, so I want to say something. हिंदी में बोलो?
हाँ.
एक बार एक डिवोटी था और उसको पैसे का ज़रूरत था. डिवोटी ने एक आदमी था, पैसे की ज़रूरत था. भगवान के पास आता था, कहता भगवान हमें 1 करोड़ का लॉटरी लग जाए. भगवान से डेली 1 करोड़ का लॉटरी चाहिए, 1 करोड़ का लॉटरी लग जाए, 1 करोड़ का लॉटरी. तो डेली जाकर के यही भगवान से मांगता था आधा घंटा, भगवान 1 करोड़ का लॉटरी लग जाए, 1 करोड़ का लॉटरी लग जाए. एक दिन भगवान को गुस्सा आ गया, अरे बदमाश डेली 1 करोड़ मांगता है, 1 करोड़ मांगता है. भगवान आकर के एक झापड़ मारे उसको बड़े जोर से. जब जोर से मारा, भगवान आपसे तो मैं झापड़ नहीं मांगा, आपसे तो मांगा था 1 करोड़ रुपए का लॉटरी लग जाए. तो भगवान ने कहा, अरे मूर्ख, जाकर पहले टिकट तो खरीद, बिना टिकट के तुम्हें लॉटरी कैसे लगेगा? पहले टिकट खरीद. हमसे मांग रहा है कि लॉटरी लग जाए, लेकिन टिकट नहीं खरीदा है, जाकर टिकट खरीद. तो ऐसे ही मंगला आरती आना, क्लास आना, गुरु पूजा आना, ये टिकट खरीदना है. जब टिकट खरीदोगे तो लॉटरी लग जाएगा अपने आप. जस्या प्रसादाद भगवत प्रसाद हो, जस्या प्रसादाद नगति कुतोपि. थैंक यू वेरी मच. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Any other?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you informed that you studied in vernacular background. And
What is that? What is that?
You studied in vernacular background in Telugu. And after only coming to ISKCON, you studied Srila Prabhupada's books and you were able to communicate in English. So my point was like, what was the efforts that you took up to come across and redefine, speak in such a polished way? So can you explain the concepts?
I told, I'm just all the credit I give it to Prabhupada only. Because I was just reading, because that time in 1991, books are not available in Telugu. And the Telugu Bhagavad Gita is so bad. Now our Vaishnavangiri Prabhu, he translated. Otherwise, horrible. Hindi Bhagavad Gita is horrible actually. Their language and, Telugu Bhagavad Gita also, like. So, I found very sweet, Prabhupada's English. So, I became very attracted to Prabhupada. My father told me, if you want to develop good English, read Hindu paper. Right? Hindu paper. So, I used to practice, but, vocabulary and all that. But when I started reading Prabhupada books, just English came just like that. I didn't put any effort without my knowledge. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Gaura Premanande.